Welcome to another episode of Chew on This with Devra and Ray. I'm Ray.
I'm Devra. Our goal for each show is to remind you that your best life starts with a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy spirit. So we want to inspire you to live in happiness and health. And so we're going to explore simple changes that you can make in what you consume, what you think, what you do, and all those things can lead to optimal health or disease. And so our topics may be around food and nutrition, or they might be around food for thought. In any case, each time we meet, we want to leave you with something to chew on. So let's get started.
So you know, this is April, and we're ending the winter season, and now we're into spring. So it's my last chance to wear a long sleeve shirt. And I picked this color because of our daughter, Lindsay Ray Betts. Lindsay Ray Betts Rouse. And you want to take it away from there? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so Ray likes to dress up for occasions. So recently, Red Aspen, which is the company my daughter represents, is a nail and a lash company. And every single one of their products is named after a person, and it is attached to some sort of story about that person. And so this month, their nails, which are maybe just a little bit lighter than this one. I haven't seen them in person yet. I've just seen them on social media, and I'm really excited to see them in person. But their nails for this month were named after me. My daughter submitted the story of our challenge with, we had five pregnancies. 4 of them ended in miscarriage, and 1 of them with complications in childbirth. After all these years, it's still an emotional topic. But what came out of that, the beauty that came out of that, is that we adopted our daughter Lindsay, and she's been an extreme blessing in our life for 40-some years, not something like that. Anyway,
yeah, she's 40.
So the nails have just recently been released, and it's so exciting to have something named after me.
Absolutely.
It's really cool. So before we get started, I want to read this disclaimer to you. I'm going to read it because I don't have it memorized. Before we get started, keep in mind this show is not intended to treat, diagnose, or any health condition. So the show is for informational and educational purposes only. It's not a substitute for professional medical advice. So please consult your healthcare professional before engaging in anything we discuss or suggest on the show today. It might be kind of easy because we're just talking about food today, but that's going to be true for all of our shows.
Real food.
That's
really. Oh, that's.
You didn't see that yet.
Oh.
So anyway, you did your shirt.
Yes, I did.
So we have a lot of exciting things in April. One is the nails that were named after me. It's Devra's Dream in purple. So check out Lindsay's lashes. Lindsay, drop your website in the comments because I don't remember that off the top of my head. But Lindsay's lashes, if you want to wear Devra's Dream on your nails.
And they're this color, just a little bit lighter shade, purple.
Yeah, it's very, very beautiful. I'm very honored to have been chosen for that.
So what's going on with the book?
So I'm really excited. My book is being considered for the Author Academy Awards, and I've been invited to invite friends to go and vote. So you can go authoracademyawards.com under the health book category, and if you've read the book and you've found value and meaning in it, please vote. While you're at it, if you've read the book and you found value, head on over to Amazon and leave a review. That'd be awesome. So what else is going on? Oh, the rebranding of our business. Mm-hmm. We're really excited about that. And we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about that today. We're going to actually talk about that next month. And but what's that word? Stay tuned, because we'll be rolling things out.
Easy for you to say.
Not so much.
Oh, okay.
So today we are going to be talking about one of our favorite topics, which is
food.
Just in case you didn't know.
Good food.
Good food.
Good, healthy food. Sometimes it's easy to, no, not easy, but sometimes it's better to make simple changes, so not only does it taste better, but it's also healthier for you.
Yeah. So one of the comments I hear often from my clients and even family and friends is that they're afraid that when they want to eat healthier, that they have to give up their favorite foods, right? And so anybody out there what is your favorite family food tradition? Do you have a family food tradition? Drop it in the comments. So when people say to me they don't want to give up certain foods because they're attached, I have a few questions for them.
Okay.
So one is, are you giving up the food temporarily because you're going on a diet? You know that food that the day before you go on a diet, you binge eat it, and the day you go off the diet, you binge eat it? You know?
Because you've been thinking about it the whole time.
Yeah. So it's not, when we do that kind of diet, we're not really changing our lifestyle. And so we're going to go back to the same eating patterns as we did before. So what if your favorite food is contributing to your joint pain, your digestive issues, your acne, yeah, acne. Acne does start, you know, that gut stuff. What if
Brittle
hair, diabetes,
brittle nails,
heart disease.
Yeah.
So if your favorite food was connected in any way to the expression of those symptoms, would you be willing to change that food? What about you?
Yeah, my favorite food was cake.
Your favorite your favorite food was sugar.
Sugar. Anything with sugar was good. And I used to eat a lot of it. I'd go to a well, we're in Las Vegas, let's face it. We had especially back then, we had a lot of cheap places to eat.
Buffets.
Thank you. That you'd go in and I'd have 4 desserts, you know, like, okay, let's have a little bit of meal here and then let's have a whole lot of sugar. And like, wow, not necessarily very good for me. So, later, I'm dying to tell you what's going on.
He's very proud of his cookies.
So, cookies that are actually good for you.
He's very proud of his cookies, but you got to make them wait.
Oh.
You got to wait for dessert.
Well, there goes the saying, dessert first.
So, whatever the food is, I would want you to consider, how does that food make you feel when you eat it, right? And sometimes you're going to have digestive issues, but sometimes you may not notice the symptoms right away. But if you're dealing with eczema or reflux, or there's so many joint pain, so many things are connected by the food that you eat. And so the best thing to do is keep a food journal, and the foods that you eat and what symptoms that you feel throughout the day.
I know sometimes I eat and it feels like 3 hours later, it feels like I just ate still. You know, that bloated feeling. You're like, oh man, I can't go to sleep tonight because I just feel terrible. It's probably something I ate.
I know somebody who could help you with that.
Who? You, of course.
Yeah, so it's good to then take those things that you had for dinner during the day, or it could even be something that you're drinking that is causing that. It could be that your digestive juices aren't working properly.
Right.
So it's really something to really explore. Then I would ask, what would you give up so that you didn't have to experience those symptoms? Would you consider changing your diet? And when I say diet, I'm not talking about a program. I'm talking about the food that you consume on a daily basis, the food that you ingest.
Right.
Right. And I have to say that you did. It took him a while to connect the dots that sugar and processed foods, the cakes, the donuts, all those kind of things, were really connected to his reflux, the stomach issues, the eczema. But what happened when you changed?
Things changed. Lost a little bit of weight. I'm a lot healthier. My blood pressure's down. Everything's really good.
Do you feel deprived?
No, not at all. Because I've changed the way I've cooked things.
Yeah. So a lot of people say, I don't want to give something up. But instead of thinking about what you're giving up, think about what you're gaining, right? Because first of all, we learned so much about foods we'd never tried before that have become our new favorites. Did you know you could roast radishes?
Oh man, they're good.
I love radishes anyway, but and I love most vegetables roasted, but I'd never thought of roasting a radish. But you got to try it. They're really yummy.
This morning I made a hash with sweet potatoes and Swiss chard, onions and peppers and all kinds of good stuff. But I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, this is good. But you got to put in the correct spices, but you're a spice queen.
I'm the spice queen.
But she's told me which one to use, and so yeah, it was quite delicious this morning. Put a couple of eggs over the top. Oh my God.
Ray makes yummy breakfast.
Yep.
He does. So you have a couple of choices. There's some foods it's almost impossible to make over and to eat healthier. Refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup, anything cooked in trans fats that you can't adapt. So there are some things that are just not good for your health, but then you have to make that choice. Do you want the feeling momentarily of how it tastes and how it feels in your mouth, or do you want to experience the pain and discomfort afterwards? And those are just choices that you have to make, but then to realize the long-term damage that some of those foods could be having on your health. And so there were some foods that we missed. Ray loves cookies, he loves to bake, and we didn't do that for a while as we started to change our diet. And it took us several years as we transformed our diet into a healthier lifestyle. And so I remember one time our friend Heron came over with one of his kids, and Ray had just made some lemon blueberry cupcakes, and he was really proud of them. And I tasted them, and they weren't that bad. But Heron and was it his daughter or his son?
Daughter, I think.
I think it was one of the girls came, and
she took one bite, and he had this look on her face like, what is this? And why did you give it to me?
I said, it's okay if you want to spit it out.
And she's, okay. So over the trash can.
She didn't want any more. But Ray's been really diligent, and over the last couple of years, he finds a recipe, I find a recipe, and I said, this might be easy to adapt, and so we work on how to adapt that recipe. And it's interesting how easy it is sometimes. Sometimes it's hard, because working with almond flour the consistency is a little bit different, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
And so Ray worked long and hard, and okay, now you can show your cookies.
These are made with almond flour, and there is a sweetener in there, but it's maple syrup, and it's not a whole lot. It's only half a cup. So, and they're extremely good. So, oh my gosh.
So I am gluten sensitive. He probably is too. It's one of those things, we've not been tested. It's just how we feel after we eat gluten. I can tell the difference in how I feel. He definitely can as well. And so this is almond flour instead of regular flour.
Yeah, with walnuts and chocolate chips and all kinds of good stuff. But I also make a cinnamon with grated ginger. And oh my gosh, they're good. But again, the sweetener is maple syrup. We don't cook anything with sugar.
Yeah.
We've made things around it. You do honey,
and I think that's probably my biggest suggestion is when you're gonna swap food out for your recipe, it's got to be a high quality food, not a highly processed food.
Absolutely.
And so when some things can be a challenge to make over, because we like to throw parties and we like to cook, and we started thinking about some of the things that we had stopped making and thought, well, why don't we just try to make healthier versions of those? And like I said, some foods don't support our health goals, so we have, one of the things that I used to love to make, like at Christmas time, was a pan of fudge. I haven't quite figured out how to make that healthy yet, and so I'm okay, because I got to the point where I don't crave sugar so much. How about you?
That's true, but in replacing that I also make a no-bake chocolate cookies that some people say is really, really, really good, and I make them.
We don't want the drug people to come after us, but some people have called it crack.
Crack cookies, because they're so darn good.
Crack cookies, yeah. So when it is possible to make your recipes healthier, and I'm actually doing a workshop in Las Vegas on April 20th on recipe makeovers. So when you're going to swap out foods, for us, when we say we swap it out for cleaner ingredients, we're talking about as close to nature as possible. No pesticides, no herbicides, no added hormones, those kind of things. So, you know, we understand that our organic is not perfect, but organic for us is closer to the way God intended food to be. So,
last night we played Pinnacle with some close friends, and it was nice just to put out some fresh strawberries that were organic, so they're not pesticided and all that, and then maybe some nuts and some a few other things, and it was nice to snack on, and some popcorn that's good and clean, and so it's easy to put things out just to have a fun night with playing cards or something, as long as it's good, clean fun.
Good, clean fun, good, clean food.
Yep.
Right. So for those of you that, thank you for joining us. If you're watching, tell us my tongue is not working today. Maybe I need to drink of water. Hang on just a second.
I agree.
We still appreciate our little cup emoji cups from Michelle. It is a little bit of a challenge drinking out of it. But if you're here, tell us you're here. And if you have a recipe that's your family favorite, we'd love to hear it. I know one of the biggest challenges for us was Thanksgiving. I don't know about in your family, but in my family, it's don't touch my Thanksgiving tradition.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm usually the one that does the turkey.
And luckily, we didn't have to do too many changes to the turkey.
That's true. Just learned how to cook it better without having to. Some people put things around it, which is, I think, not very good if you know how to cook it right.
Maybe in November we'll do a show on making healthy Thanksgiving recipes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be good. So, but Easter's coming. And that's another holiday that we typically have certain things, like potato salad, baked beans. Anybody else have any favorite foods? Let's see.
Let's see. Chocolate.
Chocolate.
I'll have to make one of those cookies.
Oh my gosh.
Warm it in a little egg.
Just, yeah. If you're going to go buy your kids some Easter candy, just do yourself a favor and read the ingredients on the back, because there is some healthier options out there for candy, because our culture kind of revolves around candy. I won't spend a lot of time on it today, but really try to avoid anything with food dyes in it for your kids.
I was going to say, food dyes are tough on kids. Oh, tough on anybody.
Right. So what's your favorite thing that we've kind of remade?
I like a lot of it.
A lot of it.
Things that we have remade.
Well, how about one of the things, I used to cook with pasta all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm a girl, I never thought that I would give up my bread or my pasta or even pies or cakes. I wasn't a big sweet eater, but pies or cakes or that fudge.
Which reminds me of, sorry for interrupting, but spaghetti squash. I love spaghetti squash. I never had it before as a kid. And then we decided to do that and put your favorite marinara sauce over or something, and it is dynamite.
Yeah. So this is one of the things I think we noticed along the way. As you change the foods that you eat and you add in more of the good healthy foods, your body starts recognizing that food as nutrition. And it says, oh, this is food. And so when we're feeding it good nutritious food, our body isn't going to be craving all the junk food, right? But if that's all you're giving your body as junk food, it's going to keep craving more and more and more, because they're just empty calories with no nutritional value. And I think it took me a long time to get that food was more than what happened around the dinner table with friends and family. And on the taste buds, it was actually what I was doing to feed my body so that I could go out and do all those things that I love to do.
Gone are our days of eating one or two potato chips. Say, that's good. But no, it isn't. I don't even want to touch them because I'll eat the whole bag. So.
Yeah. You know, they engineer those so that you want to eat the whole bag.
Absolutely.
So for me, the best thing
Best
is
thing
not
I
to
do
start.
is make a good cookie instead.
Make a good cookie.
Yeah.
So did you taste those yet?
Well, I had one
They're
yesterday.
really, really good, straight out of the oven. That's a big bite. So, anyway, so family traditions. We'd love to hear some of yours. Share those with us. If not right now, then in the comments later. And also, we've started something new. I do a podcast called Wake the Health Up with LG Designs podcast group. And we're going to start doing Ask Devra, hashtag Ask Devra. So we're going to do it for the show as well. So we'll take a question each month, one on the show and then one also on the podcast. And if your question is picked, we'll address it on the show, answer it on the show, and there might even be a small prize involved in that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is yet. So.
That would be excellent.
Yeah.
People might have some great ideas for that.
So hashtag Ask Devra. You can connect with me on Instagram or Facebook. Ray's on Facebook too, but if you want to get a hold of Ray, the best thing is to let me know you want him. He's pretty good at text. But what else were you going to say?
I don't know.
You don't know?
What else is going on with your book?
We're in the process of scheduling more book tours. That's kind of exciting. So I did 3 this last week. I went to the Salt Room.
That was interesting. Very, very nice.
And Grouchy John's and what was the
Baguette.
Oh, the Baguette Cafe. And I was really grateful that all those places opened their doors to let us share about the book. Because part of the reason I wrote the book is we're really on a mission to. There's a lot of things out there that we can get caught up in all that noise about things that are bad for us, what's good for us, what's bad for us. But what we have to remember is that doesn't really matter. All that really matters is we have a choice in what we decide to eat, the sleep we give our body, what we feed our mind, what we feed our spirit. And so that's really the message I want to get out. And so this has the resources to help people change their life. And so I'm really excited about the potentials and the people who have commented. A few people have sent me pictures of them reading the book, and it touches my heart because I think that's what all I really wanted to do is to impact people's lives, to make a better life, because I've watched too many friends and families struggle with those illnesses. And life's too short. I think most of you who know us, I'm 64. Ray's, how old are you?
I'm 68, going to be 69 shortly.
Yeah.
Both my brothers died at 60.
Yeah, I'm almost 65 years old. It's like, where does the time go?
Absolutely.
Wow. In July we'll celebrate July and August we'll celebrate some big birthdays. But this is April. You mentioned this is April.
It is.
We did our very first chew on this in April.
Yes, we did. It's always been fun. It was a different location, but it's a wonderful time.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing this.
I do too. But we would love to actually address some of your questions that you have about health, and what does relationships have to do with health? What you think have to do with health? There's all kinds of questions that I get asked, but we'd like to answer your questions. So remember the hashtag Ask Devra. You can do that on Facebook or LinkedIn, Instagram. You can actually even email me at devra@wakethehealthup.co. Send me a message there. Connect with me here on Facebook. Where else?
Let's see. You said Instagram, Facebook,
LinkedIn.
All those techie things.
Or the website, wakethehealthup.co.
Okay.
We'll talk about that next month a little bit, but yeah. So Wake the Health Up is not about me pointing fingers at you. Sometimes I think, oh, it's not about pointing fingers. I really do want you to live the best life possible, because I know that you've got big dreams and that you have things that you want to go out and do. And I know what I wanted to do when I was sick and I didn't have the energy to get out of bed, right? And I don't want people to live like that. It's like life is too short not to live it full of energy.
And it's not all about the food. It's about us. It's about life in general. Right?
Yeah.
You got to be out and do things.
Yeah.
Got to be able. You can't do things if you're sick in bed. You know, with whatever illness comes by your way, and you just kind of pick it up and say, okay, I'll just pick up this germ and that germ.
I forgot my little question mark.
Oh yeah.
I saw this in a store 3 years ago, and I said, I don't know how I'm going to use that, but I love it. So I got it, and I thought, well, this is perfect for Ask Devra. So
And we brought a plant to realize that indoors is some of the sickest area you got. So you might as well put some plants in there and clean up your air, because plants they make things better. Plus that they look nice.
Well, that's why I brought it, because it looked pretty. but we're going to do a show soon on the benefits of houseplants and even maybe some outdoor gardening tips. But anyway, we really appreciate you being with us today. Next time we're going to talk about the rebranding and what does it mean in your life to wake the health up. Embrace that, because not only does your life depend upon it, our communities depend on it, your family depends on it, because you are important and worth it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you have an awesome day.
Yep. See you on the next episode.
God bless you.
God bless.